Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, aka Magic Man, and this is episode 356. We're recording and doing the show live on our Twitch channel on September 18th. You're watching it later that day, unless you were in chat. Hi, chat. How is everybody? Hanging out? I'm sure we'll get a bunch of comments from them, particularly when we get to the weekly bombs. But today we've got new content coming out, so we're going to give you the lowdown on all of that. Some of it's going to come out before our next free-to-play cast, so this is our last chance to give you a heads up before next week's show. And then we're going to put some coming soon info together for you. A couple games getting updates. We're going to do a first look review of Diabotical. And then, because you guys liked it so much last week when we kind of just went off the rails and we're just chatting about like different press stuff or behind the scenes stuff, we're going to talk a little bit about some behind the scenes stuff for you. But joining me to go over all of it, you're now a king, I believe, Mr. Jason Winter.
What, have you been watching my stream, my Crusader Kings 3 stream?
Maybe,
okay. Lurking in chat. Didn't see you there yesterday, so yeah, all right. Unfortunately, though, I do not have a box to open up today, which is sad. I know it's... Actually, I did actually get a box, but it just had, like, old sports games in it, which I don't think chat would find nearly as interesting as a mouse I can't figure out.
What did I know you communicated back to the Mabinogi team to let them know, hey, we did open it on camera. We decided to open it on camera. What did they have to say?
I mean, I only heard from our PR contact. She didn't say anything about like passing it on to the rest of the crew, but she was amused by it and said, yeah, I'm glad you found it all useful except for the mouse.
I think the drawstring bag was the most useful.
Yeah,
those are always useful.
Yeah.
Also on
like 8,000 bags though, so I don't know.
Also on the line, Ms. Quinlan Bowers. What's up, Q?
So wait, you're king of what country now?
Angie.
Jason Donia.
some crazy thing in like Western China. Agni.
Oh, okay. Jason Donia. Yeah, that's easier for me to pronounce.
Yeah, Jason Donia will be the name in Crusader Kings 3 from now on. Jason Donia, yes.
And chat was giving me good advice too, and so they did really help me out, help me secure my legacy.
Yeah, chat was doing good yesterday. I was streaming Arcane Showdown, and they kind of were agreeing with decisions I made, which I'm not used to. Making
not used
decisions.
to chat being smart. I know.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah, don't do that, guys. You'll just give him an ego and.
All right, let's slide over and get started with the news. Okay, what do we got? Well, new content and new games. I think the biggest of which we'll go with first, since it will actually launch before we have a chance to speak again on the free-to-play cast. Next Wednesday, Rocket League is officially now going free-to-play. They did not make, I mean, if we're being specific, Jason, they did not make their this summer target when they initially announced free-to-play, because September 21st is actually the end of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. So they missed by 2 days, but that's all right.
Liars.
Liars. But it's not just free-to-play. Remember, there's a lot of stuff changing. There's a new constructed like matchmaking system as far as tiers and things like that. There's going to be whole new events. I mean, this is a whole big package. It's not just now it's free-to-play, right, Jason?
Yeah, because they're redoing the competitive tournaments we talked about before. They're also adding a bunch of new challenges and so forth. So adding a lot, even if you are already a player who's already been in the game and done it before. Of course, you'll have to. No, you don't have to go over to Epic Game Store if you've already played it, right? I think you still keep playing it on Steam. I think that's how it works. But if you're a new player, you'll have to do it on the Epic Game Store, and you can find all the new stuff there and get into all that and have a blast.
Well, yeah. I mean, and we're going to have Mr. Zach Sharps do the first look on this one. We've already teased that before.
Because he's the pro.
Since he's a little bit better at it. We're definitely going to play it. I assume I could definitely see this as, Jason and I doing a stream of this and trying not to be super bad at it, because it's 2v2, right? So that's
3v3.
3v3.
So we'll have to subject ourselves to some other poor schmuck.
Right. Yeah, we'll try like Ninja Panda. We get you in there so that we're not making somebody else.
Get Zach and have a ringer.
I don't know. Ninja Pandas is just booing Epic, so that may not happen.
Yeah, Ninja Panda does not like Epic.
We can get him for Agents Biohunters, but we can't get him for Rocket League.
Right. or Unfortunate Spacemen. But he's like, nah, not Rocket League. I honestly, I think I have played maybe 2 matches of Rocket League. Like, I never really got into it. I thought, hey, that's a cool idea when it originally came out, but I don't know. It just never grabbed me enough to really want to play it, to start getting good at it. Maybe free to play will help. I don't know. It's still Rocket League, and it didn't grab me back then, so is it going to grab me now? Probably not, but I'm willing to give it a whirl. What about you?
Yeah, it's another like competitive sporty game, so of course I'm not going to play it.
It's too much sports ball for you.
Like it looks neat to like see other people do or whatever, but I feel like if you've paid money for it and you really weren't that invested in it, I don't see you being more invested in it when it's something you haven't invested cash in.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and I honestly, I cannot remember if I bought this or if way back when they sent us press keys. Typically, like, we do occasionally get press keys for things that aren't free to play. We are upfront about it. Like, we'll get an email saying, hey, do you want, press access to this? And we'll reply saying, it is, if you want to send us keys, that's fine. But just know that it's not going to be covered substantively on the site since it's not free to play. That doesn't mean we won't mention it on like the free to play cast or something, but it's not going to get like marquee billing on MMO Bomb or anything. And I think I seem to remember that Rocket League was one of those games that they were like, we don't care. Here, have some keys. Way back when. But
I never got one
because I don't remember paying for it. Well, I don't remember getting the keys from them either, Jason, but I don't remember paying for Rocket League, but I do remember playing a few rounds. Like,
you know what, though? I look at my Steam list all the time, and there's games in there that I'm like, how did I get that? And I must have bought it at some point. So...
Old Glory in chat is saying that he heard it confirmed that Amazon Games will publish Lost Ark in 2021. Now, I mean, that's the rumor, by the way, and it has been, but I have not seen any confirmation of it. Yeah. But I mean, if you have confirmation, by all means, link it in chat. We'll take a peek at it.
Confirmation is not some guy on Reddit.
Yeah. All right, so Jason, you will definitely be in Rocket League, right?
Sure, I'll check it out at least.
You never bought it or anything?
Nope, first time playing.
So it didn't. What was it for you? The same kind of thing? You were like, oh, that's kind of a neat concept, but yeah, I'm playing something else.
Yeah, I'm not really. I've actually never really been that into sports video games in general, like other than occasional Madden or something like that. So yeah,
it's really a sports game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of.
It's
like a mode.
It's sport-ish.
Whatever. It's you don't have a gun. You're not shooting people, so I don't care as much.
I think
put guns on the cars and then I'll play.
All right. So get ready to check that out next Wednesday, the 23rd. Epic Game Store, free to play, and then whatever they do with the rest of the platforms. What else? Now this one's going to be a little longer, so we'll get another chance at this one before it comes out. But 1 week from Rocket League, Phantasy Star Online will be dropping episode 5. That'll come out on September 30th. The current level cap is 80, so already jacking that bad boy up to 90. So we've gone from 75 to 80, all the way to 90 from the time it launched earlier this year to September 30th. The new episode 5 with all the Omega Dimension stuff, for those of you that have played on the Japanese servers, that will be introduced into the system. There's all kinds of login campaigns and weapon enhancement boosts, bonuses, and all that stuff going on. There's actually a full site for the road to episode 5, so you can check out the piece on mmobomb.com. Get details about the episode, the login rewards, some of the new urgent quests, the enhancement boosts, the limited time quests, like all the stuff that normally comes with these updates will be coming, and there's a whole splash site for just this type of content. Hugh, you've been playing Phantasy Star quite a bit, not so much the last few days. You've been a little on other things, but you were like, I was seeing you on Discord like every night in Phantasy Star Online too. So now that you've played it substantively, let's go back a little bit. And I've given plenty of my opinions on it. Jason has given his. I want to get some of yours now that you've been diving in a little more with Big Boy Internet and everything.
The Big Boy Internet. So what do we want to know?
Your thoughts on it, just generally, before we
it's-
get to the episode 5 stuff.
I mean, I've obviously been having a reasonably good time with it. I do kind of hate and I understand why it's done, but I do kind of hate that I just don't like the story content isn't just in there, and it just kind of, takes me to it, and then I have to go to the counter and be like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here and do story content for a little while. That's what I'm doing. So like that kind of drives me nuts. And of course, with any MMO, I hate dealing with the inventory. But that's any online game, so it's not that.
Everyone
And it is pretty
gamer, I know
bad. It is pretty bad there.
Yeah, and it
Particularly
took
if you
me a
don't
little
buy
while.
additional inventory slots.
Right, which I think I need to resub because I think my sub went out. So since I haven't been on for a little bit, like I think it's been more than a couple of days. It's been about a little over a week, I think. Apparently my sub dropped at some point during that. So I've got a bunch of stuff sitting in the premium storage that.
Oh yeah,
I can't
I've done that. I've done that before. So are you, story-wise, are you caught up? Like, I haven't finished episode 4, but that was because I purposely was avoiding it for the stream because I didn't want to spoil things for anybody. And I've already, done it on the Japanese server, so I know what happens. I now have to do it, so that'll probably be, Monday we'll bang out a lot of that stuff on our daily Monday through Friday free-to-play stream, twitch.tv/MMOBomb, 2 p.m. Eastern. But so are you caught up on story, or are you're still working? Because you're not max level, right?
I'm level 77 at the moment.
Oh, so you're close enough that you could finish it.
I'm somewhere in chapter 2 or like episode 2.
Oh, okay. Episode 2 is my favorite episode. 5 is right behind it.
I'm somewhere in there. But I mean, I kind of fell out a little bit because I started playing with Justin, and the trader, he does this to me every time. I start playing a game with him, and then he just fails to go do other crap. Such a jerk. So since he's doing all VR stuff right now, my co-conspirator I'm playing is just poofed. But so yeah, I'm where was it?
So you've got another
Yeah,
10 levels coming up on you real quick. You're like, yay, I finished the grind. Oh.
I'm like, all right, I'm getting close. But I did, you don't realize it when you first start doing the story content. You're like, all right, I'm going to sit here and do this story content. And then you just keep going.
Yep.
And going. And going.
Yep.
And going.
Yeah, Old Glory, we covered that. And I, whatever. I don't know the guy or anything, but go watch the video. It's a clickbait headline. In the video, he never says that it's confirmed. Anyway, we covered all that. So no new news on the Lost Ark front, besides speculation. Jason, you ditched PSO2 a while ago, so episode 5 is not going to bring you back, I would assume, right?
Episode 5, 3, episode pi, whatever.
Just not going to do it. It wasn't for you.
Maybe when the new thing comes out, but yeah.
Okay, so you might check out New Genesis next year, which, by the way, we will be getting New Genesis information next week at the Tokyo Game Show as well. So we'll have more info on New Genesis to share probably on next week's free-to-play cast, depending on timing, because Tokyo Game Show
September 25th,
is
5 a.m. Pacific, so technically 8 a.m. for us. So theoretically, Friday morning.
Yeah, so theoretically we should have all the information in before the cast. In theory, we'll see.
Probably another trailer is just going to confuse people again,
right? I'm excited about it. Episode 5 is my second favorite episode out of the 6. I do like that they have kept, though, guys, to kind of like the road plan, the roadmap that they did set forth, which was we want to get through and catch the North American server up to the Japanese servers by the end of the year. Well, I mean, if you're pushing out episode 5 at the end of September, you're probably going to make that goal. And it seems reasonable that they could. It was just a timing thing. Everything was there, Did they already pre-localize it? If they did, then it's just sitting there waiting to be pushed. Maybe they're polishing some last-minute localization, but I like that they're sticking to the original roadmap so far. There does seem to be a steady cadence. We're finally going to get, not all of them, but some 14-star weapons into the game with the episode 5. So there's still that feeling of progression. I do, Q, I'm with you that it's like, okay, finally I hit 8. Ah, shit. 2 weeks, and all of a sudden I've got 10 more levels of millions and millions of experience to grind. And I get it. That's the type of game PSO2 is. If you're not grinding experience, you're grinding weapon upgrades, but whatever.
You're not making this sound entertaining to me.
It's a grindy. It's a Warframe. It's a Path of Exile. You know, there's nothing wrong with that if you like that type of game. I do. So yeah, that will be the 30th. Now, 2 days before that, we talked about this previously, so we're not going to go into a lot of detail here. Besides, I did want to mention it because we will have a feature piece coming up. The 28th of September, Genshin Impact is going to launch. So it's a busy 2 weeks here heading into the tail end of September, particularly, I mean, in gaming in general, but even on the free-to-play front, you got Rocket League, you got Episode 5 for PS2, you got Genshin Impact coming out for the PC, the PlayStation 4, iOS, and Android devices. Remember, if you're playing on PS4, you will be able to cross-play with other people, but you will not be able to cross-save / cross-progress with your same account on PlayStation on another device. So if you want to play the game mobile, you probably also want to be playing on the PC. That way you can sit at home and play, and then take it on the road and play. That'll be on the 28th. I bring it up because on the 26th, we anticipate, as long as everything comes through, we'll be putting up an interview with the Genshin team. So you'll definitely want to read that article when it comes out if you're following Genshin Impact. Before we leave the topic of new content, though, I do have to ask you, Jason, about a game that used to be dear to your heart. What the hell is Lord of the Rings doing? What is going on with this game? And I'm not even talking about the server stability issues or the inability to do this on this server, and I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just from a marketing and content standpoint, what the hell is going on with this game right now?
So they've got something coming out. It's sort of being called like a mini expansion. It's coming out in October, so like it was a month, less than a month away probably. Just kind of, announced suddenly. Announced via their stream, which they do like a weekly stream with their community manager.
And stuff like that's fine. I mean, hey, who's going to bitch about more content, right? That's good.
Well,
sure.
Yeah. It's going to be called War of the Three Peaks. It's going to bring a new area, which is about the size of one of their previous areas. I don't know, Were Dragons as well, if you remember that. I'm not familiar with that content because I haven't played in years. It's going to have about 80 missions, each equivalent about 2 to 3 quests, and a new 6-player instance and 12-player raid with the gear to go with it and so forth. And also, the big piece, of course, is boar mounts. Ooh, new mounts, which I think will be the first new kind of mount animal-wise they've had since Mines of Moria, which is the first expansion back in 2008 when they added goats. So you're going to have horses, you're going to have goats, and now you're going to have boars.
So what exactly is a mini expansion for them then? Let's just start making up terms. To me, a mini expansion is a patch, right?
Well, no. A mini expansion is something you can charge money for.
That's the crux of the situation.
Yeah, that's the difference. It's going to be $20 for the base version, $59 for the collector's edition, and $99 for the ultimate edition of a mini expansion. So 5 times the base price is going to be this. And you know what comes in the ultimate expansion? Do you know what comes in the ultimate edition?
I don't. What comes in it? Do you know?
I don't know either because they don't tell anyone because there's no pre-sale. It's just going to be sold when it comes out, and I guess you get it then and find out then in it because they don't have any information on that, on anything else they have in the expansion. The only official information from them is the live stream, which talked about it. There's no press release, there's no notion on the website. There was maybe a link to it or a mention of it. Not a link, but it's a mention of it on their Twitter. I don't know about the other social media and so forth. We haven't received press releases on it. It's just, hey, we're doing a thing we're going to charge money for. Learn about it whenever. That's appropriate.
Do they realize that a lot of gamers plan their purchases? They need to know ahead of time how much stuff is going to cost because their broke ass has to set that money aside? And did they really think that people are that those people that would do that would just suddenly that day be like, I have $100 to
You know,
spend on this thing that I didn't know what was before?
I'll be honest. I did not watch the entire stream, so maybe he went into what all stuff comes into that in that. But that's kind of the point. It's like I don't want to
Yeah.
watch the hour stream.
Well, I also have to believe that
get
if they
the-
went through it on there, that it would have been part of the post on the website. On
Again, yeah,
here's
you'd
what
think
these
there'd be note about it somewhere
Yeah.
or somewhere house somehow, but no, they're just
And this
they,
is
they
to
haven't
me
had
this
good
is a
PR for years.
yeah, to me this is a really bad look for a game that technically has been hurting for a while.
yeah,
Like pissing people off that still play the game, religiously or, on a regular schedule.
I couldn't believe that I heard this week that they haven't been able to do server transfers for
Yeah.
over a year.
Yeah.
Like really?
I don't know. And so there's good PR, there's consistent PR that maybe isn't great, and then there's just like I don't know what happened with Lord of the Rings. Ever since it went, to Standing Stone Games / Daybreak Games, we used to get the press releases and everything on a consistent schedule, and I knew some of the people that were their former press house. I don't know who does it now because I never heard from them.
That's because there isn't anybody.
Because maybe there isn't. Maybe that's exactly.
I mean, to not
it.
even be able to send out a press release when you have a paid expansion means you don't have anybody doing it.
Yeah. As a chat says, maybe their marketing department's in flames. Probably. It's just,
Yeah.
we'll put that out after we fix the servers. But I don't know. This is just really bizarre, Q. There's bad PR. There's no PR. This is just both. I think.
I mean, a lot of times now I don't understand what's going on with PR with different companies and everything. But yeah, I just even beyond the PR, like it's just, aren't there people other than whatever PR company that makes the decisions? That's like, all right, well, we're gonna do this expansion and it's got this in it, so we need to let people know so they want it. And I don't understand why, if you're going to announce that that said expansion exists, you wouldn't just go ahead and tell people so that they can, prepare to get the dang thing.
Out of curiosity, Jason, maybe you remember this. I'm kind of going on the fly here, so give me a second to look up some information here. So the most recent expansion was the Mordor one, right? Like full
They did something
expansion.
after that. They did like another like into Mordor kind of thing, I think, as well.
Right, but was that an expansion? I thought that was like additional updates to the Mordor expansion itself.
Also, the stream seems to be hung up. Oh, that's back. Oh no, hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just reloaded the page. It's still loading.
Looks good on my side.
Oh, maybe it's iffy.
Right. Yeah, so I got the Mordor expansion. And then I have 3 updates after that. Oh no, you're right. So there was the minus Morgul expansion.
That's what it was. Minus Morgul.
And that's the 7th
Morgul.
expansion. All right. So knowing that you're getting a lot of lag, we got an excellent connection on our side. So I'm looking right at it.
It's iffy for me, yeah. But, as long as we're recording, that's good enough, I guess.
Yeah. So we got minus Morgul. How much was that? That was a full expansion.
That was a full expansion, I think. So I think
Right.
it's okay.
And I
should
want to
be
know
noted
what the
here.
price was,
Okay,
for
here we
their
go.
bundles.
Yeah, $39.99 for the base. So 40 for the base, 80 for the collector edition, 130 for the ultimate fan bundle.
And that was the full minus Morgul expansion.
Yes, that was Minas Morgul.
So this is or Minas Morgul. Okay,
Minas.
I'll
Get
take
your
your word for it.
Tolkien right.
I'll take your word for it.
Damn it.
Hey, never make fun of somebody that mispronounces something. It means they learned the word by reading.
It's not a real word though, so I'm going to
True.
still make fun of you.
Okay, that's fair enough. Play Final Fantasy. I'll have a field day correcting you. So that $130 for like their big collector set, and now $100 for this ass backwards mini expansion. What are they doing?
I don't know.
They're drunk at the Prancing Pony. All right.
It just
Ninja.
makes me wonder. It's like I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, if that Athlon game comes out and it's even remotely good, Lotro is done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
Because they
dumb.
are running on fumes right now.
Although I have my concerns about that one too.
Well, yeah,
I
yeah.
shared
I
those
said
in an MMO
if
thoughts
it's
episode.
reasonably good, I said that. So that's why I put the caveat there.
All right. Yeah. So it's a mess. I don't know. Lotro fans, chime in. If you're playing the game consistently, even with all the tech stuff that they've had issues with lately, I can't imagine. This had to have gone over like a lead balloon with fans.
There's actually an article on Massively that said, is Sandy Stones being greedy with this expansion? I didn't read the article. I just saw that headline. And I was like, damn, even they are.
Yeah. And the answer is yes. Spoiler. The answer is yes. All right, moving on. These kind of go in the coming soon. All right, everything we've covered now is pretty much in like the next 2 weeks, with the exception of Lotro, just because I wanted to ask Jason what the hell was going on there. But Genshin Impact, PSO2, Rocket League, those are all in the next 2 weeks. Putting it in the coming soon box, we now have a roadmap for Spellbreak, which I quite enjoyed. Yes, it's Battle Royale-ish, I know. It didn't do it for Jason. Jason's still kind of looking for that sword and board battle royale that isn't.
Jason's still consumed by Crusader Kings 3.
Yeah, that too. And so I really did enjoy Spellbreak. It is still installed on my computer. That's how much I enjoyed it. Duo mode is back. That's already available. So initially we could not queue as that when it launched. You can do that now. But Q, we got a roadmap for a lot of future plans for this. What's it looking like in the like kind of mid and then short and long and really long terms here for Spellbreak?
All right, so this is not one of those fancy, picture roadmaps that you can just. But basically, they broke it into 4 portions, which was short term, mid term, long term, and then there was like the very short term, which is basically just that there's a Reddit AMA today. That's like the only thing that's in that section. The short term is like anything that's taking place within this month since they posted, or the month since they posted the post. That just sounds weird. And it's the game's first patch, bug fixes, stuff like that. And midterm plans are 1 to 3 months out. And that'll be story-based content. And with the first major patch actually setting up the game's history and the chapter system, which they define. They go into great detail about, what a chapter system is in their post. And then the long-term plans are for like just, the stuff that you would expect over the long term, new classes, new gear, new elements, that kind of stuff. So it's a very broad roadmap, really. I mean, they did spend half the post just defining things for you. So
I am excited about the chapters portion, and I mentioned that in my first look that it was going to be their like story content, their lore-driven stuff. And if you check out their Discord, there is quite a bit of, maybe best way to describe it would be backstory lore to kind of set you up there. But getting the prologue in the first major patch to kind of set up the story and the beginning of the chapter system, and having Chapter 1 there. They describe Chapter 1 as the second major patch. It's going to kick off the story in earnest. The first major patch will set up with prologue stuff. You'll be introduced to the Order of the Vow-Breakers and given your first assignment, researching the Spellstorm and trying to put a stop to it. As for the rest of Chapter 1, we'll have more info for you soon. Now, this is an aspect of the game, Jason, that you really don't see in Battle Royales. Even Battle Royales that put on the veneer of having an extensive lore or stuff like that, you very rarely see a PvE or lore or story-based experience. So I'm really interested. Like, I like the gameplay of controlling the mages, and I want to see what they do with that. I'm going to be really disappointed if it's more just like, hey, here's a cutscene, and now you got to go take place in this battle to watch the next cutscene, and basically it's just, interrupting Battle Royale modes. Like, I want a little more than that out of this. But I don't know if that's what we're going to get. We'll have to wait and see.
It has me thinking of the cycle. They have something like that too. They have like story missions where you have to go to a certain spot and like, interact with a panel, and someone comes over and says, so the voice in your head says, "Oh, this was my friend and he died," and now you're finding out info about how he died or whatever.
Yeah, but
Do that
there
every other
is
mission, so.
there's a team of writers working on this. Here, what do we got? Tyranda saying the lead writer is a wonderful person. She worked on the first transgender person storyline in the Elder Scrolls Online before moving to Proletariat, which is the company behind Spellbreak. So we got an experienced writer from ESO, doing a little ESO content on this. Let's see where it goes. In the prologue, we're also going to get a new 9v9 team deathmatch mode. So that'll kick off there. That'll be a little interesting, I think, to check out. A Halloween event. They're saying, although Q, they do call that out. Hey, this is not canon.
Right.
But they're already
it's-
basically witches
There's a
and
Halloween
spellcasters
event.
and
It
so
exists, but it's not a thing.
Right. And then 3 new 3-point talents. Your builds are about to get a lot harder to plan. And then new consumables, which I had mentioned in the first look, was something we knew were coming too. So, and then, long-term gauntlets, classes, elements, runes, ranked competitive modes, limited time modes, guilds. I like the game.
My God, they're continuing development.
Yeah, I like the game. And I hope that this continues on a little bit of an upward trend. I'm worried, just like I did an MMO Thoughts episode yesterday, posted on YouTube about scavengers, which kind of falls in the vein of the cycle, which Jason and I will be streaming after the cast today. Seems to fall into that vein from everything I'm seeing. I'm a little worried about that game, even though there's things that look interesting because of the genre that it's in. And I'm kind of concerned about Spellbreak for the same reason. It is in the like it or not, it's going to be compared to Battle Royales because you have Battle Royale features, last person standing wins, closing cloud, all that jazz. And I don't know. I mean, this is the stuff that I think differentiates it. But I think the longer it takes to get that stuff out, the less impact it's going to have as far as differentiating it, if that makes any sense, Q.
No, it does make sense to me. And I mean, when I look at the game, when I watch you play it, my brain is like, yeah, that's Battle Royale. It's a Battle Royale with magic, but it's a Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So yeah, not having those things to start with, just like basically putting out the Battle Royale content with none of the other stuff they eventually intend to put out does put it on that level of competition, at which point, unless you like magic over the other stuff, it's, I don't think it's like necessarily something that's going to draw your general Battle Royale people in. And the people who don't like that particular game genre aren't necessarily just going to jump into it, because eventually it might have these other things.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I am still interested enough to have it installed and jump into it occasionally. I haven't had any long-term game sessions with it. It's kind of like 2 matches and then off to DJ Maxx to practice. Before we leave the coming soon topic, literally coming soon, according to the developers, Warface will finally get console crossplay, but we don't know when.
Middle of the fall.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah. Okay.
That's interesting. It's like October, November-ish something.
Sure. So if you're a Warface player, there you go. You're going to have cross-console play or cross-platform play at some point. What was really weird about this one, Jason, is that they were like, yeah, it's just technically very hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, at least they admitted this. The reason they haven't done it yet is because technically complex mechanics takes a lot of time to make them work. So, okay.
We'll take your word for it.
Get cracking, boys.
All right, moving on. We're going to talk about first look video that went up this week. Jason Winter, you sat down and played Diabotical, the first-person shooter, more Twitch than I thought it was going to be when I checked it out and watched the first look. It's a very fast pace,
yeah,
but cutesy with the robot-y things. Yeah, I don't know.
Eggbots.
Yeah, I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit first, and then we'll kind of get Q, mine, and your opinions here. So go ahead, Jason. What do you think?
Yeah, you pilot your little Eggbot. You got a lot of different weapons. I'm really surprised at the variety of weapons they had. They fill most of the typical things you'd expect in a shooter type game. You got a machine gun, you got a rocket launcher, you got a grenade launcher, you got a little beam weapon. So you go around and you pick all those up. Yeah, show me kicking ass in the practice area. Oh yeah, I hit with all the sniper guns in that. Yeah, no problem. The actual match, we don't want to get into that, but yeah, you got little grenades you can do. What they're called, I forget.
I'll see. Now you've forced me to jump ahead.
Yeah, jump ahead. Show the real match. Show my awesomeness.
There you go.
Okay, I'm a little behind on the stream, but I'll take your word for it. So yeah, they have a few different modes too, so they can, I was just doing the deathmatch one because that's the simplest, the one I usually find the queues for the most reliably. But yeah, you go around, you frag people, and you whatever the objective is. Deathmatch is pretty simple. They have other ones that are like grab the thing and get back, like grab the intel in Team Fortress 2. They have like a team deathmatch and team version. Another one where you just have like the sniper rifle, the sniper little bow arrow thing, crossbow thing. So yeah, all sorts of different modes. I think they're going to add a lot more.
Oh, you
too.
jumped off.
To have more. I did. Was that? Hang on, let me see that. Oh yeah, that's when I was backing up. Yep, backing up.
Look at your kill count. It's -1 because that happened.
But I got it back up to positive. All right. Look, I got it up to positive. Show the good parts of the match.
I just jumped to the match, man.
Well, you got to show the best. See, this is when I try to zap this guy. I don't know. Again, I'm behind on the stream. So I landed one hit, and then I died. Okay, whatever. It looks like Overwatch Ninja Panda says, I don't know about that. Since you do have a bunch of different weapons, it's not that you're tied into a
maybe he means the color schemes.
Yeah, I think the
schemes
art
are very
palette definitely
Overwatchy.
kind of hints at an Overwatch to
Although
me.
I will say that was one of the coolest things I got to kill. And then I died. But anyway, the coolest thing that I thought actually was in this game was the actual customization of your egg bot. Like it was a very
I loved in
pretty
the
good
first
system,
look
actually.
where your egg bot had one eye and you opted to give him 2 eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you can like rotate the different elements, and you can like scroll them, make them bigger or smaller, change your color up. So actually, a pretty good amount of variety for just having a little bot.
I think you missed a chance there, though, with the little buttons. You could have given it button eyes and made a Coraline bot.
Oh,
yeah, I could. Well, you do that when you play that. That's another option.
Jason was like, "You customize your own damn
I want
bot."
my giant eye with the little smile.
I just thought it was like I was literally laughing out loud on my computer, Jason, when you were going through customization at the beginning of the video, and it was pretty neat. I mean, you could take any piece you wanted and make it bigger or smaller, and just put it on your egg anywhere you wanted. Like it was neat customization as far as the bot goes. You can make super cute
Another
things.
kill.
And then your guy had one huge ass like Mike Wazowski eye, and you put 2 eyebrows above it. I was like, that is tremendous. This looks very. So when I was watching the first look, I kind of felt like I was watching an amalgamation of like 3 or 4 different games here. Granted, kind of an indie developer feel to it. But art style, I did kind of get the Overwatch color palette too. Maybe not as far as structure, but definitely color palette and shininess. It definitely kind of screamed, and maybe it's just me, I don't know. It kind of screamed old school Quake almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
Quake 3, maybe a Quake Arena to me. It was much faster than I thought it was going to be when we initially saw the game. I was like, this is actually pretty Twitch shooter based, and then I started getting the Quake vibes, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Some of the game modes, they just all kind of seem standard, maybe leaning a little towards some Team Fortress 2 stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is not one I would play, I don't think. One, I'm not terribly great at Twitch shooters to begin with. I like something more a little slower, like a Rogue Company or an Apex Legends, or even a Call of Duty particular modes. When it starts amping up and getting really quick like this, I'm just not good at them, and I don't have the time to sit there and get good at them because I'd rather be playing something else. So it's a personal thing for me. So I don't know if I would play this.
I think if you are into like Quake style games, you might enjoy it.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some fun to be had there. Certainly, if you like the cute aesthetic, then that's going to help you too. They have the typical season pass and all that stuff, right? I mean, I saw you reviewing that at the end of the video.
Paid and regular. Yep.
Q, what did you think of this when you were watching the first look?
Well, I mean, I did think, with the speed and everything, I honestly don't think I could play it. I was sitting there watching it and just watching Jason, and I'm like, because he keeps backing up and backing up and backing up and backing up, and I'm like, you're doing it wrong, knowing that I wouldn't be able to do it any better.
Right.
Like, it's so much easier to watch somebody else do it and just be like, yeah, that's all wrong. Why are you continuously backing into a wall? Or off the edge, or wherever you were into the other person.
Look. It's confusing. It's complex. That was my pro strategy. I'm sorry if you couldn't grasp, you couldn't understand the rigors and the intricacies of my strategy.
Yeah, I don't think.
It was.
Go ahead.
It was fun to watch. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch. It was just
Fun to watch me be bad and fall off ledges.
Like, even with the
Actually,
weapon
my
swapping,
favorite-
I really got the feeling of Quake, though.
Although that was my big
Yes.
problem, like all the different like numbers and so forth for the different.
Yeah, that's a Quake
I didn't
thing,
get
though,
that.
brother. That's
Is it?
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
Quake thing, like having all the weapons right at your fingertip.
No, it's not
By-
that.
by
Just
the
correct that
way-
there was 1,
by the
2,
way-
YGQX5. It's like nah.
Yeah, that made little to no sense. I mean, but did you notice there were 2 buttons for each weapon once you went in there and actually looked at when you were looking at the thing? It was
Yeah,
like
I said I was gonna like
3 and
maybe.
Q and something else and whatever.
Yeah, I would
whatever.
rebind that to my
Like, that
Naga
was-
mouse real quick.
That was a little weird. By the way, the grenades are called wee balls. 'Cause
Yeah.
they
Wee balls,
literally
right.
they literally
balls.
say "wee" when you throw them.
Yeah, they scream. I loved it. when he just wee. I was like, yes. It is horribly cute.
Cute.
And it played well. It looked like it played well.
Yeah.
Like, performance-wise, it looked steady FPS-wise. It looked steady performance-wise. All the mechanics are there. Like, how did the gunplay feel? Did it feel as like crisp and responsive as like
Yeah.
a Quake or a Team Fortress 2, or was there clearly a little, hey, this is not quite AAA feeling to it?
No, it felt really good. I had no complaints on that front.
Well, good. I mean, hey, if it's for you or you're looking for, something a little more modern tech-wise, if not aesthetic-wise, in your maybe
Oh, this is my best part. I
your
got the 2
Quake
kills right back to
arena.
back there.
This might be for you. Might be worth checking out. Free to play, so you really, the only thing you have to lose is some download time, I guess.
Oh, it's on Epic Game Store too. So
Yeah, you got that going for you if you don't like the Epic Game Store. So check it out. If I got to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, for me personally, I got to give it a thumbs down, and that has nothing to do with the game itself. I'm just not generally one to boot up Twitch-based shooters. I like a little bit slower than that in my first-person shooter. So I would have to personally give it a thumbs down, although that is not an indictment on the game itself in any way. It's a personal preference on the game's style or type of game type. Q, what about you? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I mean, I'll give it a thumbs up because it is a cute, I think, well-designed game that I think people who, enjoy those kinds of shooters will really like. So, I mean, I wouldn't be playing it, but I would sit and watch other people play it.
Jason?
Give it a thumbs up again for that same kind of reason. Even the fact that I remember when I got towards the end of the video, I was like, hey, I'm kind of liking this. I was like, I'd forgotten that I was supposed to be enjoying this game doing
Jason's
that
now a
instead of just
competitive
doing a
Twitch
review.
shooter, but only in Diabolical.
There you go. Esports Pro now.
I'm sure the esports scene
Diabolical
for it's going to
esports.
be huge. All right, so you got 2 thumbs up there. So if you want to check it out, Epic Game Store is the place to go for that free-to-play game that kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. Before we head over to the weekly bombs, last week when we did the unboxing and stuff, we kind of got sidetracked and talked about press release kits and stuff in the background. So a lot of people did comment saying that they liked that kind of content. And like I said, if you want certain types of content in the free-to-play cast, by all means, put it in the comments. If it's something we can do, we will do. So I figure we'll bring a little topic here just for a few minutes. Kind of a behind-the-scenes type thing. And if you have more behind-the-scenes questions, throw them down there as well. So I wanted to know from the two of you, all 3 of us have been doing this gaming journalism thing for quite some time in various capacities, whether it be writing, streaming, podcast production, first look videos, whatever. We've all been doing it. I think mine is 2011, 2012, so it's going on 8 or 9 years. Jason, I think you're roughly the same, right? Maybe a year
We're
or
talking
2.
video games, but I'll have a story from my CCG days when we get to
Okay,
this.
and then Q, God, I mean, you were at Game Breaker for forever doing all that writing and stuff. So we've got collectively probably almost 30 years worth of experience in this field if you total us all up. So I figured I wanted to ask you guys, have you ever really, in your entire career as a gaming journalist, I mean, just really, pissed off some developer or press agent or PR rep or publisher? Have you ever really whether it was through a piece of your content creation or even through a private conversation, by all means, if you're not comfortable revealing names, don't. Just like really pissed somebody off or gotten some really nasty feedback that you had to kind of maybe put out a fire on? Jason, you said you had one right away from your TCG days.
Oh, I started the fire. So there was a CCG. This was back when I was with Scry, back around 2003, 2004, something like that. It was called Dawn Continuing Criminal Enterprise. So it was like based on, it's supposed to be like a mafia kind of thing, where you're supposed to be running different stuff and so forth. And it was basically kind of Magic-like. You put out your land was like your different enterprises that you make 10 grand from this, and you tap that to do a thing or whatever, and so on and so forth. I don't remember what it was. It was like the land was also your life, like your money was also your life total or something like that, and that just did not work. The mechanics of it did not work. I played a game with my coworker at the magazine. We played a game or two. Like, this game doesn't work. Because they'd given us cards. I'd been at a convention and met the guys who had done it, and they'd given us cards to review and whatever. So I wrote a not really pleasant review of it. And after the magazine came out, one of our salespeople, because they'd taken out a small ad with us too. One of our salespeople came over to us and said, "Oh, the guys from this company, they're really mad. They just sent me an email, and they're really mad about the review you left." And wow, yeah, they apparently, because the game wasn't good, and you've probably never heard of it. I'm sure no one in chat has ever heard of it because it wasn't good, and it never went anywhere after that. Whatever first set they put out. So
this was all from was it a published review?
Yeah, I wrote it in the magazine.
Oh, it was in Scry and everything. So it was like it went out. So this is nothing you can do about it now.
Well, I mean, I got to give honest reviews for the players.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole damn point. That's the whole damn point.
As opposed to, I'll also say too, remember when I did a similarly scathing review of NFL Showdown, which was by Wizards of the Coast. They also had a really bad review, and their PR guy wrote back to me and said, "Yeah, we fucked up. we had a lot of problems with this game." And they should put out a better version next year, so because I wasn't the only one who said bad things about them. So
well,
that's the difference.
At least they came back and were like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
Q, do you have one? I have one. If you want me to go, if you need a second to think.
To be honest, because even though my time at Gamebreaker, like a lot of that early time at Gamebreaker was as a community manager, not as actually a writer or on the videos or anything.
Oh, gotcha.
So I have like more, angry stories from that. The only two things I can think of is, well, one, the really recent one, although I don't think I made him mad. I think she was just upset a little, and that's when I accidentally published something a day early. And then she emailed me and was like, "Why is this up?" The next day, she emails me and asks me, why did this, can you explain why this went out early? And I'm like, because I'm a dumbass.
Because I thought today was Thursday.
Yeah. And she was just like, "Oh, okay." The other one was back when Torchlight first was a thing, and they were, Perfect World was billing it as a free-to-play MMO, and then they came out and went, "Well, here's this $20 single-player game," and I was like, I said on Twitter, I'm not going to spend $20 on something that's, that's like a half-assed version of what's going to be free-to-play anyway. And one of the devs came back and tweeted back at me and was basically like, "No, these are two different things." And I think that's pretty much it. Most of the time, I kind of just go unnoticed, which is perfectly fine by me. It's like a superpower to just be completely unnoticed by people. So.
I probably would have liked to have been unnoticed in mine. So mine is MMO bomb related. This was years ago. Like I had just started the free-to-play cast. Just started. And remember, the impetus for the creation of the free-to-play cast was I liked what Gamebreaker did. I had no experience doing that. I wanted to work for Gamebreaker, so I needed to get experience doing that. And so when I got hired by MMO Bomb to do First Looks, I said, "Hey, you guys want to do a podcast? Why not? Let's do a free-to-play cast." So that was the whole impetus for the creation of the show. So anyway, it was really early, like probably the first 30 episodes, 25 episodes. and we went off on some things. Like there's particularly if we ever had Havoc on the show, like Havoc never stuck to my show notes, like never. Like I would
That's
have
why
all
he's
these.
never been on a show since.
He would just come on and he would be pissed at something in World of Warcraft that week, and that he would rant about that, and we'd be like, yeah, great, but we're trying to talk about Star Trek Online. Yeah, but I just got to get this off my chest.
Ugh.
So we had very vocal hosts and things like that. It was great, and I was very vocal about a particular pay to win situation with a company that at that time had a worse rep than they do now on the pay to win front, but they still don't have a good rep on the pay to win front. And I don't mind giving you the company because the people I'm going to talk about are no longer there. They haven't been there for a while. And the people that I work with there now, it's a totally different regime, and they are very, very great people to work with. But it's Perfect World Entertainment. And
I knew it. Before you even said it, I knew it.
On a free-to-play cast, I honestly, to this day, don't even remember what game it was that I was talking about. But I tore into them on some aspect of their monetization. And, like, I ripped into them because it was just abysmal. And I got an email from their PR, and they wanted to have... I forget the guy's title, but they wanted to have me meet with somebody and like as a chance to interview because they saw the free to play cast, and they wanted a rebuttal. They wanted a chance to rebut. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll give you a chance to rebut, no problem. Come on. And so I did an interview, an audio video or not a video. I don't think they were on video, but it was a recorded interview with them. And this guy was no match for me. Just like no match. And I kind of, I'm new to it. So like, I don't understand the whole, if I tear into somebody too bad, that might damage relationships and things like that. I don't care. I don't care to this day. I'll find the news about your game, whether you email it directly to me or not. I don't care, and so I kind of tore into my interview subject about the whole pay-to-win topic. PWE stopped sending me press releases for about 1.5 years. So any Perfect World Entertainment, and it wasn't as big a deal then because I wasn't in charge of the site, so it didn't matter whether I got the emails or not. Somebody else on the site was getting them, like Luis or whomever. But yeah, they stopped emailing me press for about 1.5 years. They would not grant interview requests that we had sent them. So they kind of retaliated against me. I was not subtle about anything at all. So yeah, I've really pissed, and I've pissed off more. I've pissed off more. That's just one that really, really comes to mind. I remember writing a review for something at Game Breaker and getting torn up about it too. But Gary didn't care. He was like,
well, I don't know about you, but if chat and everyone else thinks I'm a curmudgeon old coot now, they should have seen me back then. I've mellowed.
Yeah, you definitely have mellowed. That is true.
He was so mean. He was so mean to the writers at Game Breaker who were not professional writers in any sense of the word, but he was so mean to them. I had a fit one day over that. I was just like raging at Gary because Jason had been mean to like all these little writers that like it's not something they did professionally.
No,
they were just
they're just volunteer, just trying to get their name out there a little bit. I don't have links, honestly, because the interview is gone. I know the interview doesn't exist anymore. The free-to-play cast that it kicked it all off to Randa is probably still up because none of those have come down in the process of moving things to different sites and stuff over the years. The interview's gone, and I don't even remember what game it was. All I remember is that it was Perfect World, and whatever game touched it off, and it just went from there. It was over like course of a month. Got a lot of good viewer feedback. They loved that. But it's kind of like, watching your mom and dad fight. You're interested, but it's a little uncomfortable.
Troy in chat, Jason definitely made sure we knew we were beneath him when we first started.
Know your place, noob fridge.
All right. Well, if you got a question like that about behind-the-scenes stuff, throw it in the comments. Before we head over and do the weekly bombs, make sure you check out gamerpower.com. This is an ad for a sister site of ours. This is not some other company or anything. This is MMO Bomb's sister site, gamerpower.com. Absolutely free for you as the user. There's no premium membership or anything like that trying to ask you for cash. Just gives you a chance to get free stuff in free-to-play games, free stuff in not free-to-play games, and in sometimes absolutely just free games. Create an account. You'll be able to track all the giveaways. You could tell the site exactly what games you're interested in, and not only will it keep you apprised of the latest giveaways on that game, but it will also recommend similar games for you in case you want to check out some other things in that genre. And I think this is the coolest feature, even though it means like nothing, right? It will track how much you have not spent. So if there's a giveaway worth $40 and you claim it for free, forever on your account, it will show you that, hey, you did not spend $40 on something, which I just think is a neat little feature. So check it out, gamerpower, all one word, .com, and we're going to head over and do the weekly bombs. Jason, we've already kind of touched on yours, so let's go there first.
Sure, just an A-bomb to Lotro, just for everything just for how they've been sliding downhill for the past few years, and this latest thing just makes me really, really worry about its future. So
good call. Yeah. I'm going to give an A-bomb, sorry. Remember, dub-bomb for something good, A-bomb for something bad.
Do we need the chart?
Do we need the chart again? I think I lost the chart in a PC transfer, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's sad. That is like the single asset that I'm the saddest of that did not make the PC transition years ago. I'm going to give an A-bomb to Echo of Soul because, seriously, what the fuck? I don't even know what is going on with this game anymore. It is being removed from Steam because it is too complex to offer good service via Steam for the publishers, developers. I don't know. The game's come and gone so many damn times, and now it's leaving Steam again, and there's like very few details about what that actually means as far as your account or refunds or anything. So if you play Echo of Soul on Steam, you probably want to keep an eye on that. But yeah, huge A-bomb. Go ahead, Q.
I think we should come up with another bomb, by the way, something that's appropriate for like a WTF type bomb. Because
we've issued WTF bombs before, yeah. Yeah, they technically don't exist, but you can feel free.
But in this case, I have the bomb for the Michael Ansel, the guy who created Rayman and Beyond Good and Evil, because he's decided to just go do stuff with wildlife and help protect wildlife. He's quitting his gaming career to go, protect wildlife.
Well, there you go. From chat, Ninja Panda is highlighting a message here. I'm giving a dub bomb to Jason's stream for the discussion about camels and for Jason going pro egg, and an A-bomb for the next 100 million experience grind coming September 30th. Talking about PSO2, but still going to do it. So, yeah.
But will you become a king when you're done?
Probably not. Guardian Vale says, dub bomb to Jason being dumbfounded look when he saw the mouse that came out of the swag box bag. An A-bomb to the Gamescom Awards on the Steam store page of Cyberpunk. I was looking at the videos and events for Cyberpunk, saw the awards, and it just triggered me. And for the question of the week, because I didn't split this, I'm just going to move that. So
let's move that. Okay, there you go. I'll take the next one here.
Go for it.
Misfit Rain, A-bomb to Annabelle Goldsmith in the comments because I don't think they would actually send me my bride if I gave them money. I don't even know what that's about.
So I put that in there, but I know I need to explain what's going on. So because I don't, Annabelle Goldsmith in the comments.
Mail a bride spam?
For some reason lately, yes. Like every video that goes up, and it's not just MMO Bomb, it's all over the place right now. There are like mail-in bride sex YouTube accounts, and like one of them keeps asking on every video I post if she can be my girlfriend. The other one's like, oh, love you, with a bunch of kissy faces and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's like every time a video is posted within the first 4 hours, there's 3 or 4 of them, and then I have to sign in and I report the accounts and then delete them. But yeah, so Misfit must have caught that before I had gotten in there to delete them.
I don't know, Misfit, try sending him money, see if it works. Let us know how that goes.
Tarkoth says, a dub bomb to Genshin Impact September 28th because it's awesome. A bomb to King Jason of Jason Donia, having a higher than mighty attitude. Old Glory chiming in with a dub bomb to Mike in yesterday's stream with black screen. I forgot to put the damn game up. Dub bomb to everyone because you all are awesome. From Glitch. Dub bomb to notifications from Stojan showing up to chat late. How are you, Stojan? Q, go ahead and take Marcos.
Marco Z, I'm not really excited for ArcAge 2, but I am excited to see what Unreal Engine 5 can do for MMORPGs.
I think a lot of us are. Kitsuruha says, nailed it, Mike. First time since I gave you the text of how it's supposed to sound, LOL. Duh, MFN bomb to Nintendo for going out of their way to make a prequel to Breath of the Wild with Koei Tecmo to make Breath of the Wild a trilogy. God damn it, this had a question of the week hidden inside it, too.
Jeez,
what is going on with you guys? Put a space in there. Go ahead, Jason.
I guess I'm next. Raggedy says, dub bomb to Jason for mentioning Rambalak. Yeah, it sounded so familiar to the point it was annoying. Like, did I play with a guy with that name? Did I watch something about this? Oh, the YouTuber walks around Japan filming in high res. Yeah, I watch him too. That channel is the best. I put it on just like you to chill and wind down. His channel is good. There was also a few channels that film from the cabs of trains, and those are the same feel. You know, I've occasionally watched like it's not live, but it's like a stream of a video from a train, like going down the track, like from right on the
it's
head
like
of
out the
train.
window shot type deal.
Well, so like straight, like from the not actually like straight ahead. Not like the side.
Got you.
But I've watched videos of that too, just for times, just to chill out. So awesome for that. A-bomb to high res, lol. Of course they would do something like a box like that. I could see masks because stupid people can't wear one, so we have to deal with stupid shit. But a bullet really high res. Which one of your offshoot companies thought that was a good idea? So talking about your
my Rogue
box you got
Company
from them,
box
yeah.
that High Res sent me. I was just like, really? A bullet-shaped flash drive? Where the fuck am I going to be able to take this that isn't already just somewhere in my house? Go ahead, Q.
Well, to be fair, it was an offshoot company. It was First Watch Games.
Yeah, it was.
Whatever, we just call them all high res. Just like we call them all Daybreak for all their various things.
Yeah. I have to sit and really think about which company does what at high res. Excess Baron, I love when you guys just chill and chat. Awesome.
Question.
Do that for an hour instead of actually like talking.
Yeah,
about
no
stuff.
more free-to-play news. Just
Yeah.
talk. Question of the week last week. Multiple games have kind of tried to do the make real money in-game approach, things like Entropia Universe and other games, kind of advertising through that way. Does it draw you in? Why or why not? And do you think it could be done in a way that might be like fair, fun, and I don't know, maybe even profitable? Guardian Vale chimes in. Question of the week. No, that's not for me. When I game, it's my downtime. That sounds like a job. Then there's the problem of who owns the stuff you made. Question for the panel. Did Jason figure out how to use the mouse on his own, or did someone explain it to him? Sorry, Jason. Had to ask.
I tried to give it to my housemate to see if he needed one, but he doesn't. So it's still just sitting in the bag down there, I think.
Go ahead, Jason.
Oppie says, earning money in a game will never be great or work. We are so many gamers today, so every item will be grinded so many times, meaning the price will be so low. So in the end, people earn nearly nothing, and people can really buy good items for less than nothing.
Cute.
Yeah, what you have to do is you have to find your niche. Like, go ahead and do a search on MMO bombs for sex beds.
I'm sorry,
We
what?
wrote about that a while ago. Sex beds, yes.
What?
I think I remember that.
How
Yes.
I gotta do this.
The Second Life sex beds.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were making like $3,000.
$3,000 a month or something. Yeah. So
Was it back
you
in
can do it
2016?
if you have your
$3,000 a
shtick,
week.
Yeah, $3,000 a week. Oh, okay, all right then.
My God. So what is a
That's
sex
You're in
bed?
the
It's a
wrong
normal Second
profession.
Life bed with scripts attached to it that make the players perform actions. We'll leave the rest to your imagination. Look at Jason just getting the biggest kick out of his own writing. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm a funny dude.
Sex beds. All right.
Go ahead, Q. Take the next one.
Squeezy. Warframe does it in a fun and interactive way with Tennogen, where the community can vote which cosmetics created by fellow Tennos they want to be added into the game, and the creator gets a split for every purchase. As for whether it draws me into trying my hand at developing anything game-related, let's say that I'm more of a numbers guy. edit. Not all voted items actually end up in the game, as DE actually has to fix some issues that might arise when implementing the cosmetics. That's why we still don't have cool looking capes, hoods in Warframe.
Yeah, so totally valid point, but I think to me that's more of like almost a contest than an actual game mechanic. But fair point. I mean, you can't get a piece of the pie if you are the winner there in some cases. Kidzaruha chiming in again. Question of the week. Never really gotten into games for profit. Have thought about it, but I guess it just never seemed like a viable thing to me. But not sure if you mean making real-life money in-game or make what currency you would buy with real-life dollars in the game. Talking about making the real cheddar. Seeing as various games have done both. I've done both in games, but after all, anytime it's been a slow grind for anything at all, so never stuck with it for long and just went back to enjoying what I wanted from the game. And I think that's the biggest problem, is, as multiple viewers pointed out, is that it does become essentially a grind at some point. And in Entropia Universe, you get these news articles on $100,000 or a $200,000 sale, and that's one, and they're like, hey, look, you can come make real money. And then you're farming, it's literally fucking called sweat. In Entropia Universe. Yeah. That is you're farming that to try and sell it. Yeah, whatever. Question of the week for this week. So I changed it on the hosts here, but that's fine. We did see this week, finally, the PlayStation 5 and its release date and price on November 12th, and the Xbox on November 19th and its prices and everything. But I want to know, what title do you want to boot up, free-to-play title, do you want to boot up first on a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X? Now, I'm not saying it has to be a launch title. I'm not even saying there has to be an announcement that it will be even available on PlayStation 5. What free-to-play game, if there are no limits and it'll be there on launch day, we'll pretend, do you want to boot up on one of those consoles first, and why? Let us know in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget your weekly bombs. Da-bomb for something awesome, A-bomb for something terrible in the world of gaming, or just in life in general. If you've got a question for the panel, throw it down there. We'll bring it to next week's show as well. Until then, Q, where can everybody find you?
Hanging out on Twitter at Quintland.
Jason.
On Twitter at Winter Informal and streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter. Just remember to bow when you come in, because I am the king.
King. Hail, hail, Jason Donia. There's a Marx Brothers reference for you. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there on Twitter at MagicMan1. But more importantly, follow at MMOBomb to get tweets about all the latest news, articles, first look videos, and so much more. Don't miss our daily streams at 2 Eastern. Until next week, stay safe. See you on the servers.